Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna compare and talk about data analysts versus data scientists in the UK, what each one of them do very briefly, what's the demand at the moment, and what are the trends as well. This is a question that was asked by many people in the comments and a lot of people that reach out to me on LinkedIn. And since I have been working myself as a data scientist and data analyst, I have some context here in the UK to share with you, and we're going to look at numbers and I'm going to share with you my proper experience as well. If this sounds good to you, click the like button, consider subscribing as well. This does help me massively grow the channel. Thank you for doing it. So first, let's talk about data analyst. What does a data analyst do? A data analyst is someone that inspects, analyzes, and visualizes data. It can be via Excel, via Python, SQL, Power BI. There are so many tools that we have. But a data analyst is someone that will grab some sort of data or collect it themselves and then go clean it, explore it, understand it, speak to stakeholders to understand what kind of KPIs we're looking for, then go analyze that data using different tools like SQL, Python, and more, Excel, for example, as well, and then visualize it, report it, build dashboards and things like this. You have, in some cases, data analysts that also write machine learning models, but usually they just do that on a very surface level. They never push into production because that's more something that data scientists, machine learning engineers do. So the responsibilities are mainly exploratory data analytics, which is EDA, which has all the cleaning, exploring, analyzing. We have reporting and building dashboards. So these are mainly the things that data analysts do. If we look at the data for data analysts in the UK, we're looking here, we can see that we have a drop in terms of demand overall for data analysts. We can see here that it lost 62 in rankings. These are just looking at the tech jobs in the UK. We can see the average salaries as well. So I believe we have here the overall median salary in the UK, which is 47.5k. This is the median, so it englobes senior, entry level, everything. So if you want a better deep dive, you can look into here, and you also have like a graph in here where you can see the salaries and everything. So we can see an upward trend still over the years. The thing that is very interesting is to look at this graph in here. So we can see that there is a massive increase of contracts for the past, let's say, 1.5 years, and it correlates with a massive drop of permanent jobs. So a lot of companies now, they hire contracts instead of permanent jobs. So this means that data analyst demand for permanent jobs has decreased, but there is still demand overall in terms of contract, freelancing and things like this, although it's becoming more tricky. So data analyst roles have to slowly evolve into data science role. You have to be able to understand machine learning, write some sort of models, understand the architecture and the engineering, because that will make you more valuable overall. Because the reality is data analytics can become automated really soon, and in order for you to be safe, if you are a data analyst or considering being a data analyst, is good to consider upskilling slowly towards data science as well. But here the good news as well is that if we look at the UK overall, we can see in some places, yes, it has drastically dropped, like in England and especially in London. But if we look at other places in the UK, like in Wales, like in Scotland, we can see there is still an increase. So in those very advanced cities, the need of data analysts has dropped a little bit, but in many other small cities and other countries, the demand is still there. Now let's discuss data scientists. And data scientists are more into building predictive models, doing machine learning, doing some really cool advanced stuff. It's a more technical field. Usually data scientists, they do understand data analytics work because it can be part of their job. Data scientists can wear many different hats. They can be more into the BI reporting side. They can be more into building models. They can be more into deploying those models or engineering the whole architecture, which that would be more of machine learning engineers. But sometimes the role can be called data scientist and you can do machine learning engineering stuff, or you can do data analyst stuff. So the job title is a little bit broad, and it's important to understand the nuances when you apply for jobs. So skills, usually we talk about Python, R, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, things like this. So very technical and advanced topics. So now looking at the data scientist job here in the UK, we can see a median salary of 70,000 per year. We can see a nice increase for the past year. but it has been dropping for the previous years. So there is a trend that is very much unclear overall. So if we look at the salaries, we can see they're roughly the same. So there hasn't been much of a change here. But if we look again at the trend of the jobs, we can see a decrease in terms of permanent roles, but an increase in contracts. So it's the same kind of trend that we saw in for data analysts. The nuance here, as I told you, is that sometimes a data scientist role can be combined as machine learning engineer or ML ops. And in that case, if we just out of curiosity jump into ML engineering here, which we can see the median is 80K, we can see a massive increase in that proficiency. And we can see here, look at the amount of permanent roles increase. It's massive. So sometimes there can be a confusion in understanding of a data scientist. So based on how it is defined, we can't really predict properly what are the results. So if the role is data scientist that does machine learning engineering, then the demand is massive, you know. But if it's like the proper traditional data scientist that writes models in a notebook in a very basic manner, then that is starting to drop as well. So if you aim for data science roles, try to aim for the higher end, which means you need to learn the machine learning engineering fundamentals. You need to learn Docker, you need to learn fast APIs, you need to learn ML flow, you need to be able to deploy in the cloud. So these things will give you an edge in data science, and that's really, really good to know, because the typical traditional data scientist role has also evolved into a very, very, very technical one. So as you see, there is more of a decline in data analyst roles. There's more of an increase in data scientist role focused on machine learning engineering. So all those previous traditional analytics roles are decreasing because there are tools that can do the job, and that's the reality. So for data analysts, if you're in the UK or planning to come to the UK, major cities in England like London, the demand has decreased. But the other cities in Wales, in Scotland, even smaller cities in England, is still okay. So you can still find lots of opportunities there. However, it's best as a data analyst to try and upskill into data science to get more opportunities and a better pay even though it's more technical, but it's easier for a data analyst to bridge the gap between where they are and becoming a data scientist. And on the other hand, for data scientists, the demand is quite high in the whole country. It pays better, but as long as you shift more towards ML engineering, which will require from you a lot of engineering skills as well, but that will make you more complete, you will have a higher pay, and the demand is really there. So that's a good thing to understand. One other point that I would like to mention is the rise of contracts and freelancing roles. So I am currently also myself working as a contractor and freelancer, and I enjoy the flexibility of it. There are so many roles that are opening every day as contractors and freelancers. One, because companies don't want to invest in resources and employees for the long term, and maybe because they need you to solve a specific problematic for the next 6 months or 12 months. And second, it's because it costs them less to maintain employees long term as well. It's a win for employers, and it can also be a win for employees because you can tackle many different projects. You can also increase your pay, usually get paid better as a freelancer. And it also gives you a little bit of variety in what you work on. You don't work for one company for 10 years doing the same thing. Things are evolving, and it's worth considering it. And if you're interested about learning more about freelancing, I am making a video, so just subscribe so that when it's released you'll receive a notification for it. I will share with you everything that I've done to get really good projects on Upwork from A to Z, optimizing your profile, how to write a proposal, where to find jobs, how to filter, everything. You're gonna get it all packaged for you so that you can just go apply it, and hopefully within a few weeks, months, you can grow a good presence on Upwork. And if you're looking into something more practical for data analyst work using SQL and DuckDB, I made a full video of 1 hour e-commerce data set that I will link just here and in the description below, where I walk you through how I work, the SQL commands, how to answer business questions, measuring different KPIs, all the fun stuff in a very long 1 hour video, but you'll see how things are done. You have the code as well so that you can follow along with me. So if you want something more technical, just click here.